Hey.
everybody.
Oh,
What's
I'm moving that table. Okay.
yes.
All right. Don't have much time. Got an interview to do, so we're going to make this a quick part one and then come back and do a
Part
part two
two.
of what we learned so far on day 3 and 4 in Kigali, Rwanda. This is day 4, and it is, what day is it today?
Today
Thursday.
is
Thursday.
Thursday. Thursday.
So, can I start
Sure,
before I leave?
sure,
Okay.
sure.
So, some notable things, what I learned
Wait,
on day
hold on,
3.
hold on. Before, before we start that, we have to remind everybody that we are here live in Kigali for those who are coming on for the first time, those who are viewing us on our Facebook page, Reclaiming Our Identity, or also for those who may be viewing this on our YouTube
YouTube channel.
channel. We are live in Kigali, Rwanda. We moved here on this past Sunday. Uh, what day was that? What was the date?
The 12th, the 14th.
The 14th. We got here on the 14th, and so we've been going live a couple of days, and we are in. What day is this?
Day 4, honey.
Day 4.
Yes,
Today
dear.
4. Okay, yeah. So day 4 here in live in Kigali. Okay, so what have you learned while you have been in Kigali?
Not just while I've been, but on day
On day
3
3 and day
specifically
4.
after being here a little while. So on day 3, some notable things were um, that's the day you rented the car. So I posted on our Facebook page, on my personal Facebook page, that my husband rented a car. They have car rental agencies here that will rent you a car for $25 a day. So,
That's the cheapest. That's the cheapest.
oh, okay.
Yeah. So
Oh,
you can. I
oh,
mean,
I
you.
thought that was the average. Okay,
No.
or the typical. So that explains it.
Right.
So what we
Yes.
learned was thoroughly inspect the car, get all the details necessary because it's $25. So you get what you pay for. So we'll talk about that
Yes.
experience later. But that's a thing. It's something you can do. The other thing that I learned on day 3 was we went to meet with a realtor to see some homes that we had chosen, um, and some homes that he had selected or had available based on our specifications. And there are various ways that realtors, or they call them brokers here, establish contracts or methods by which you have to pay fees or not. So be prepared to ask the right questions. It's about asking the right questions. Is your realtor or broker going to charge you a fee to show you the homes? If so, what is that fee going to be? Is it going to be an upfront flat fee of 5, 10, $15, or 15,000 francs, 5,000 francs, 10,000 francs to see the various homes? Is it a fee per home? Because some of them may do it that way. Because there was one we wanted to see today, and it was going to cost 10,000 francs for us to see it. But we went to meet with a realtor. We get to the meeting point, and he says, okay, I need to get in the car. And my husband says, well, no, I told you that we wouldn't have space in the car because we're all in the car and we don't have space to accommodate you as well. So the gentleman got a moto, and we followed him to the various homes that we saw. We saw about three.
We saw about
Three.
yeah, maybe
About
three or
three.
four.
And at the end of our touring the various homes, um, he was expecting payment of the cost of the transportation, because in the contract for that particular company, you have to pick the realtor up and they ride with you to the various homes, and that would only cost 5,000 francs
For this
if you pick.
particular
Yes, no,
realtor, it was 5,000 francs to basically for him to show you the
right.
properties.
That's what I'm
Yes.
saying. So otherwise, you have to pay for the transportation, which was much more costly because that wasn't clear in the beginning. We didn't have that understanding, so we had to pay for the gentleman's moto, and we paid our driver to take us around. So both of those costs combined was more than it would have cost just to pick him up. But we didn't have a vehicle at the time, so we couldn't
That was on
have.
day 2 though.
Was that okay?
Right. Because day
So
3, so on Wednesday, yesterday and today we had a driver. I mean, we had transportation.
yeah.
On Tuesday we didn't. That's when we had
Okay, so
to
that was day
pay.
3. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's another thing I learned. Something else that I've learned on several days after being here several days, different than what I experienced on our trip last time to just visit without the children. Was we thought the majority of the roads were paved, and now I can say, so coming from a healthcare perspective, you have to do research, and it has to be fact based. And so when you say majority, it has to be a percentage that equates to greater than something else. So without having been around a lot of the roads, I really shouldn't have been saying, I like Rwanda. We chose Rwanda because the majority of the roads are paved. A lot of them are, and a lot of them are not. I don't know what percentage are, and I don't know what percentage are not. But as we experienced last time, when you veer off of the main roads, a lot of the main roads are paved. But now that we're really digging into the house hunting aspect of our trip, and doing a lot of reconnaissance much more deeply and having more time to really drive around, we have noticed that once you get down a certain distance off of some of the main roads, it goes into dirt roads and dirt paths and what have you. So, and a lot of them are dirt. So, keeping that in mind with rainy season, they have a short rainy season and a long rainy season. That's something that you would want to be mindful of. However, in all of our other travels, we have noticed that Kigali, Rwanda has more roads paved than we experienced in Ghana and in Tanzania, especially Tanzania. Nairobi has a lot of roads paved, so that's something else that I learned. And the other is that the staring, like my daughters have brought it up many times. The Rwandans stare, they really stare. So if you come to visit, be prepared for them to stare. And it's not just because you're American, they stare at each other. They just stare. They seem to be very curious. I just tell my daughters it's because they're gorgeous. They're beautiful. Somebody's saying something on our YouTube channel, but they definitely do stare. So what I do is just I put a pleasant smile on my face and I look right back at them until they look away, or they don't. Some of them don't. They'll just keep looking. Another thing is they will walk and stop right in front of you and stay, and you have to walk around or whatever, or won't make way for you or make path. I don't know what that's about. I don't know if we have a different courtesy expectation in the States or what have you. If they're like, well, we're all family, just get in where you fit in, move when you have to. I don't know. I don't necessarily think they're intending to be rude. It's just very common. I mean, they're not moving for you. They're coming straight at you. Another thing that I've learned since being here is, and I wanted to add two reasons why we chose Rwanda instead of any other African country that we toured, is that, am I talking really
No,
fast?
they don't say hello.
And they don't. They don't. And I have made it a point. I told my girls, I said, one thing we're going to contribute to Rwanda is courtesy and politeness. I am determined. I say hello to everybody I see, especially when they're staring at me. Especially, I say hello, and they'll say hello or welcome or karibu. But I'm saying hello. You looking at me? At least say hello. We say hello. And I'm from the South. Oh, we gonna say hello. Now, don't be looking at me and not say hello. So anyway, yes, very good point. They do not say hello. I don't get it. I don't know. So, what was the other thing I was about to say that I learned? Since driving. One of the other reasons, so I want to add to my list of reasons why we chose Kigali, Rwanda instead of some of the other African countries is, one is it's drivable. My husband, we rented a car, he's able to drive. And in Ghana, never, okay? In Tanzania, absolutely not. They will bulldoze right over you, run into you, ram, because there are very few street signs, very few stop lights, very few stops, signs for guidance, direction, whatever, instruction. Would not be driving there. But we could rent a car. They drive on the same side of the road as we do in America. The steering wheel is on the same side of the road. So this is a drivable place. We are actually driving around the city and doing pretty well. I was impressed with my husband because I think he put the GPS down for a little while. I was like, okay, check you out. I didn't say anything. Pat on your back. He thought he knew what he was doing, y'all. He was driving in the city. So that's one of the other reasons why we chose this city. And my last other reason, and I'll let you talk because I have got to go get ready for this. Oh, I've got 15 more minutes. Is the climate. The temperature here is amazing. It's lovely. Now, I'm cold natured, so I got on a jacket because we're sitting outside on the balcony. But it's a very mild, moderate climate here. It gets as high as maybe 93 was the hottest day we experienced when we were here last time. So in the 90s is the hottest, and the
No, I
coldest is in
don't.
the
No,
60s.
no, I don't think it got to the 90s.
I remember looking at the temperature one day and it was 93 degrees. Specifically, I put it in
That,
my
I
brain.
mean, that must have been about
93.
5 minutes.
And I like hot weather. I prefer hot as long as it's not scorching. But all year long. So if you're planning on coming and you have to decide, should I bring my spring summer wardrobe or should I bring my fall winter wardrobe? We moved here. I should have brought my fall winter wardrobe. I'm thinking Africa, and I had been here before. I knew it, but we are finding out that we are coming right at the very beginning of the long rainy season. So it's pretty chilly. It's like a spring day. It's cool in the morning and cool in the evening and nice in the mid to upper 70s during the middle of the day. And that's it all year round. It doesn't get scorching hot and it doesn't get very cold here in Rwanda. So that's a lovely thing. In Ghana and in Tanzania, it gets hot, hot. Even though Tanzania is East Africa, it gets really hot there. And in Ghana was super hot. But like I said, I'm okay with hot, but I love the fact that it doesn't get very cold. And I like scarves and sweaters. I love my fall wardrobe. So that's perfect here if anybody is wondering. And so that adds to the reasons why I favored Rwanda over others. Miss Clean, that's my friend from Mississippi. Bring them on. I can't see something. I've got another message on here, Carlene, that's blocking my view. You can now add up to 3 guests to your broadcast. Oh, you want to come on our broadcast,
No, that's
Carlene?
not. That's it.
It does. I
That's,
love
that's
you.
It. That's been on.
I miss
for a
you,
minute.
Carlene.
Um,
I don't know. Let me see if I
so-
can get it to go away.
So.
Oh, it just says you're watching. Hey, girl. Hey. Go ahead. I'm done.
I can say something now.
Yes, I said I have to go to an interview. I'm still on my job search. So I have an interview in 15 minutes. I wanted to get my spill out because you can continue talking and I can leave.
So, there were a couple questions. One person, I think I didn't get the name. I think it was Molly said that your husband looks Rwandan,
We get that everywhere we go. They say he looks native to the place.
but somebody else said the same thing, that I look Rwandan while I was here. So praise the
He's
Lord.
starting to act around in the way he's driving here too, with them blowing them horns and everything.
But yeah, it's been. Oh, how are the children adjusting? I think
We gotta do
Fatima
one with them.
mentioned that. No, not Fatima. I'm sorry. African Giselle.
I need my scarf.
There's another
It's a breeze.
person that watches whose name is Fatima, so I apologize for that. But we'll do a video with the children so they can give their feedback.
We can still answer the question. You do not
No,
want to?
I would rather let the children answer. Let them have their, let them give feedback. Of course, it's
Okay,
going to
so
be
stay
different.
tuned. We'll let the
Yes.
children tell you how they're adjusting.
Yes,
We did have an adventure today that
Oh, yeah.
it shook our
Yes.
middle one up quite a bit. So
Yeah. So let's hit the adventure, because we.
that was supposed to be a teaser so you can listen to the children's take on things. But anyway.
Oh no, because they can talk about it next time. So as my wife mentioned, we go to the.
I'm sorry.
We rented a car, and of course, like as was mentioned before, we've come here. We got here on a Sunday, and we are in the process now. I think also a question was asking, how is our house hunting going? And so we have the first couple of days we've been paying for a driver. I think it was Sunday and Monday and Tuesday. There she is, Miss Fatima. More reserved compared to Rondans are more reserved. They are. That's a whole nother story right there. Yes,
They're
so
more
we'll have
reserved, but they're
they're
still
more
not very
reserved.
polite
so we'll talk about that as well.
as a whole. There are
yes,
a lot of
they
kind,
are
nice people
very
here.
reserved. So we rented a car the first couple of days, and so we are in the process of looking for housing and looking for schools and things like that, and looking for a car. And so because we are right now staying in an Airbnb and we don't, we have to be mindful of our funds, we are we went on the low end of trying to rent a car. And because we went on the low end, we got what you get when you go on the low end. And so, as my wife said, the car was $25 a day. And I said, hey, praise the Lord. Okay, we just needed, maybe a couple of days. And
See what happens.
we get it a couple of days, and we'll be able to get around and find our car, find a vehicle. Um, and so this car, oh mercy, have it is a 19. Now listen, every single Toyota that has ever been made, Corolla, whatever you want to call it, RAV4, is here in Rwanda. Every single, when I mean everyone ever made, I'm talking about 1998. Okay, the one that I'm driving right now is a 1999 Toyota. I think it's a Corolla. Okay,
Yes, it is.
Corolla, and it is the gas doesn't the gas light
Gauge.
does gas gauge doesn't really work, and so you put money in there, you put gas in, and the thing doesn't really move, and so you don't have no idea how much gas you have. And so the guy comes, and praise the Lord, he comes, he drops the car off and everything, and we go down, and it's $25 a day, and so we're renting it. Okay, we'll rent it until Sunday, and we'll keep that car, and so yeah, crazy and scary. Not to mention, we're driving in the car, and I'm going down the hill, and we're going now. Rwanda has all, when I mean hills, a thousand. No, they call it the land of 1,000 hills. It's the land of 10,000 hills. And I'm not talking about, just it's steep hills.
Listen, let me tell you, Tarnwell sings this song. He's the God of the hills and valleys. I'm so glad he is today. Praise Jesus, because I'm telling you, we almost didn't
It's
make it.
it's serious. It is serious. Okay.
So what happened?
And so we're coming down the hill or whatever, and
My hair is
so
a mess
I
now.
can tell. I can tell, the brakes are not good, okay, because I'm hearing I'm hearing some grinding from some rotors, whatever. So I tell the dude, we need another car, So he says, okay, I'll come and get it tomorrow. I mean, tonight. This is yesterday. I'll come and get it tonight, get you another car. So we got back late. So I said, okay, just come in the morning, whatever. So he comes this morning, comes at 9 a.m. this morning, and I look at him, I look outside, and the brother ain't no car.
He was sitting on the wall.
He's
waiting for
sitting
us
on the
outside to
wall
come back.
waiting on us. Okay. And he said that basically it was something about, they couldn't get another car, da 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 da. And so, he wanted to see about, the brakes, because I said the brakes weren't working and everything. And so he gets in the car with his, and of course, it's like when you go to the doctor and you say you sick, and
Where does
but
it hurt? Does it hurt right here? Nope, not right now. Does it hurt right here? Nope. When I push right there, does it hurt? Not today, but it was killing me just this
exactly.
morning.
And so we ride in the car, and the brakes start, fine. Because I told him, I said, listen, I said, because I got him, I met him at 9 in the morning. I said, listen,
Oh my.
we get in the car, and the brakes start fine. So then I tell him, I said, it's probably
You're
because,
talking about you when you
right,
and
it
he
was
get
just
in the
me.
car alone.
Yeah, he and I. And I said, it's the weight. It's probably the weight also, because when the whole family's in the car, it's more weight, and you're going down the hill, it's more pressure on the brakes, whatever, and you can really hear the grinding. And so we get in the car with him at 10, was it 10:30 we left?
Yes.
Yeah. We have him come back and meet us at 10:30, whatever. And we are in the car, and we're going down the hill, and it sounds fine. And as soon as we let him out the car, and we're driving around or whatever, and here goes the grounding again. So we go later on, we go on to look at houses and things like that, and go get something to eat or whatever, and put gas in the car. We're on the way back. Okay, we're on the way. No, I'm sorry, I didn't give this caveat as well. Okay, so the car, because it's a 1999 Toyota Corolla, okay, the thing, because it's so old and it has no power, Okay, so I mean,
Struggling up the
we're
hills.
going up the hill, and this thing is just, it's like,
Bicycles passing
it's
us,
like the
y'all.
little engine that could. It's like,
A
oh,
little, and then there
please,
was trying
please.
to could.
It's like, please, please, please. I mean, can I just
Help
please
me,
get up?
help me, please.
Help, please, please,
Help me.
help me, please, please. Can I get up this hill?
You talking about praying in the vehicle? Some people pray when they get in the car when they first get on the road. This guy has us praying the whole entire trip till we
I'm
make it
talking
back
about
home.
praying and
That's what it is.
fasting.
Jesus just wanted us to come a little closer.
Mercy.
Yeah,
I
he
mean,
said, I'm going to put you in this car so you can spend some time with me. We're going to talk the whole trip.
so we going up the hill. We going up the hill, and this thing is just, so this is every time we get in the car. I mean, it's like we literally are
With my
doing,
babies, y'all. With my babies.
we are literally doing probably about 20 miles an hour going up every hill. I lie to you not. Okay,
It's hilarious.
it's 20 miles an hour, and so we're on the way home, coming back, and we're going up a hill, and the car just shuts off.
I hear my husband say, wait a minute. Don't tell me this car ran out of gas. Don't tell me this car ran out of gas. As it... And then you tried to do
So
something
I
and
cut
started
it
to roll
off.
back.
I mean, so I cut it off.
I got to go.
Okay, I cut it off, and I tried
Maybe
to,
I'll be back
I said, okay,
for
Lord,
part two.
I said, Jesus,
Interview.
no, not today. Okay, please, Jesus, and I try to get you. Hello. I always said, okay. Mind you, this happened when I was coming up the hill with the guy, with the car. Somebody asked what was my email. Destination West Africa 2022. Destination West Africa 2022 at Gmail. That's our email, and you can reach out to us. So when we were coming up the hill in the morning at 9 a.m. when I was riding with the guy who gave me the car, it cut off at that time, and so we tried to turn it back on, and it cut on. We went back down, got some gas, and we were fine. But this time that thing would not cut back on. So we're basically in the middle of the street, okay, trying to go up a hill. I had to put that thing in park. I had to put it in park, put the parking brake on, put the hazards on, have the family get out of the car. After they got out of the car, I put the thing in reverse, backed it up so I can bring it onto the side out of the street or whatever, right? Basically next to the curb. Then this guy, this Rwandan guy, was so polite. He came and tried to figure out. Did not speak English, but we're motioning to him, letting him know that okay, the gas ran out of gas, whatever. So he flags down one of the motos. Motos are the guys on the motorcycles, and speaks to him. And the guy on the moto takes me to the gas station, gets me some gas, whatever, and brings it back or whatever. But it was a harrowing experience driving this car. And I texted the guy, as a matter of fact, while I was in the car, and I said, come get this car today. You gotta come, we are stuck in the middle of the road because we ran out of gas. Come get this car today. And so he's coming to get it tomorrow. As a matter of fact, what's crazy is before the car shut off, I sent him a message on WhatsApp, and I told him, I said, the brakes are still acting up. I said, you need to come get the car tonight or tomorrow morning, and basically you can bring me a refund, the rest of my money, because I've rented the car up until Sunday. But I said, hey, we not gonna make it to Sunday. And so he's supposed to either bring me another car or bring me a refund tomorrow morning. And so when I saw the guy, when this happened, I was like, no, you got to bring that bring that tomorrow, because this is not gonna work. This is not gonna work. So that was kind of like our experience. And so somebody also asked, how's the house honey coming? It's been interesting. So we've seen some as I've mentioned before, the houses are cheap. I mean, when I mean cheap, the houses are cheap. Now, depending on the neighborhood, you can get a house. There were houses we saw for $400, $500. They may actually, as a matter of fact, Fatima, One Nation Under Black, excuse me, mentioned that I may have a hard time getting the money back. So what happens is, thank you, Sister Reese, my little big sister. Um, so let me backtrack. So when we got here, we booked an Airbnb. But when we got, and I think I mentioned this in the first video, when we got there, come to find out the Airbnb, no, I'm sorry, not the Airbnb. I can remember it was the Airbnb, a hotel, whatever that we booked. They did not allow, multiple people in one room, more than 3 people in one room. As a matter of fact, I did mention this in the previous video. And so we went to another place, and that particular place, no, I'm sorry, the first place we went to, it was one bed in a room, and it just wasn't, and they were going to give us multiple rooms, whatever. And I said that was not going to work. And so they are actually giving us a refund. And so it wasn't, of course they want to show you different properties and try to get you to, not. They want to get you to not, get a refund, of
I'm gonna have to
course.
switch to the what am I trying to say? If you're watching live on Facebook Live, I need you to switch over to Reclaiming
YouTube.
Our Identity on YouTube.
Yes.
Because I need my phone. I'm so sorry. I can't log onto the internet on Zoom on my computer. It's not an Africa internet issue.
Okay,
It's been
so you
happening
better hurry up
in
'cause
Atlanta.
your
So anyway,
time.
gotta go. Love you guys.
But
Bye.
anyway, so they're going to get their refund or whatever. So getting back to the houses, so we found some. We found some decent houses, but we are looking for something very particular, and so you can find houses from $400 here. Now, depending on how you want to live, where you want to live, and they're not bad houses. They're just not what we want. There's a certain standard and things like that we want, and so the one house that there were 2 houses that we really liked. The one that we really liked, the guy wanted. I mean, it was a beautiful house, 5 bedrooms, 5 baths, and it was $1,000 a month. And and it was unfurnished, and so because we're looking for unfurnished houses, so we can furnish it ourselves. But a guy apparently had somebody who was staying there for $800 a month, and then he decided, I guess, to go up to $1,000, and he was not willing. He lives in, I think, Uganda or Congo, one of the two. And he was Togo. No, it's Togo. That's where he lives, and he's not willing to go down to 800 because we don't want to pay no more than 800 for it, for a house. And so that one is our favorite that we saw, and there were 2 others that are similar to it that we're actually waiting to hear back from the realtor so he can get in contact with those with the owners. And then we saw another one today that we really like, which is 800. It's brand spanking new, $800, $800 a month. But we just don't like the. It's far from where our children would have to go to school. A, and then B, there's a dirt road that you have to go down to get to it. And so we're not too fond of that. But that house is kind of like our last resort. I mean, it's a brand new house. It is, I mean, it's beautiful house. But it's just like, the reason why it's $800 and not $1,500 or $1,200 is because of the area that it's in. It's in an area called Kabeza, and it's about, from where the girls will go to school, it's about 30 minutes, and then where my son will go to school, it's about almost 25 minutes, and so it's a little ways, and so that kind of is like the last resort if the other houses that we are looking at fall through. And so the housing, we were praying, hoping that we'd have something by the end of this week, because we have to we check out of our Airbnb on Saturday, and so we wanted to be able to have something in place for that. So we will be going into another Airbnb on Saturday afternoon, um, stay until we get our home. So Lord willing, we will be able to have a place by next week. So that's and the last thing before I end this video, and we'll pick up part two, is I started to mention about the cars here. Cars are extremely expensive. So you'll pay, like I said, that 1999 Toyota Corolla that I was driving. I mean, if you bought one of those, I've seen those on Facebook Marketplace and at different outlets here. You're talking about $5,000 for a 1999. Um, and the car of choice here is a RAV4. RAV4s, Toyota RAV4s, and anything Toyota. And they are expensive, especially the RAV4s. You can get something like let's say like a 2010 RAV4, where in the States it may cost you, if it's a 2010, that's 12 years old. You're talking about maybe, seven, 7,000, 8,000. Here, a 2010 will cost you about 15 grand, $15,000. You anything Toyota is going to be an arm and a leg, and because they have to import everything. I mean, all the cars are expensive, and so if you're trying to find a car on a budget, like under $10,000, it's tough. And when I say car, I mean, you can probably find a decent car, but as far as SUVs, because what we're looking for is an SUV, because we don't want to have to deal with like what sometimes you have to deal with going over some of the terrain on the dirt roads and things like that in some of the areas. We want to be able to be a little bit higher on, and also, when it rains and stuff like that. And we're just used to, we haven't been in a car in some years. My wife and I both had SUVs for, forever. And so driving a car and being in a car is going to be really rough. And so, and somebody asked about importing a car. Importing a car is like, I mean, we thought about that, importing our car and bringing our SUV here, but it was going to be like $10,000 just to import it and bring it here. So it was like, we thought it would be better just to get over here and to buy one, and then it's still becoming a headache because, the cars are so old. And if you get a newer car, it's going to cost you, 15 grand, at the least. And I didn't say a new car, I say a newer car. And so it's just expensive. And so what we're trying to do is we have a budget that we have set, that we want to pay for a car. We really don't want to go over that budget. But it's something where, we might have to, think about, because we want to be able to have something, that's decent, that's reliable. But it's just hard paying, it's a certain amount of money for a older car, a car that I know, in the States, I'm going to pay, half the price. So that's been a challenge, but so we may end up, paying a little bit more than we want to pay. And so that's where we are in the car situation. This is our update, day 3, 4, kind of 5 as well. Thank you all so much for watching, viewing, sticking with us as we go through this transition and documenting our journey, and just try to show you and tell you what it's like being here in Rwanda. We are going to be doing some videos, some live videos where we are actually out and about. One of the challenges is that because we use my phone for GPS, and we have not gotten a SIM card or a phone for my wife, so that at least one of us can go live and the other person can use the GPS as we're getting around, whatever. But Lord willing, we'll have that in place tomorrow, because one of the challenges, is trying to, keep your old number, which she wants to be able to do, but also be able to, have some kind of local contact as well here, being able to, have a local number. And so that's one of the challenges. So we're probably going to go forward with just getting, an extra phone for her. My phone, unfortunately, I just went on and got another SIM card. And so my old number is no more. And so everybody that contacts me has to go through either WhatsApp or Facebook. That's the only way to contact me. And so for those who are, and you can also email us at destinationwestafrica 2022@gmail.com. Yes, get a local phone. Yes, because what happens is people here, a lot of people won't answer your call if it's not from a local number. And so it makes it easier to have a local number. So, but we are going to be doing videos, live videos of, us being out and about in Rwanda. And it is Rwanda, not Rwanda. Here they call it Rwanda, so the W is basically silent. So we'll give you some videos of us out and about, and so you can actually see what life is like here in Rwanda. Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned as we continue this journey.